You know, there is a quiet movement among moderate evangelical ministers in this country to tamp down the rhetoric and in some ways to challenge their colleagues on the religious right. Last month, a group of those ministers met to offer a counter strategy to evangelical America. And the outcome could be a factor in how this country sees the mix of politics with religion. Joining me now is Reverend Joel Hunter with the Northland Church in Longwood, Florida. He was part of that gathering on November 30th in the nation's capital, and he's also a spiritual advisor to President Obama. It's great to have you with us, and I want to start out with asking you, why did you want to attend that meeting in Washington, and what are you and your fellow ministers trying to accomplish?
Well, it was an informal conversation. We're trying to figure out how we can be a helpful and constructive voice, especially for the vulnerable, in this political atmosphere of destruction and polarization.
Reverend Hunter, you were at the president's inauguration, and we also understand that you email him a daily Bible devotional. Comes every day to his BlackBerry. We know the president fought long and hard to get a BlackBerry that he could keep in his possession. But I want to ask you, what was today's devotional by email?
I'm going through the Gospel of Luke, reading the Red series, and so I emailed him several at a time, and so I'm not sure which one he got today. From
your interpretation of those passages from Luke, how do they pertain to the current climate in Washington?
You know, they're not really politically oriented. They're more personally oriented. I don't really play a political or policy role in his life. I play a more pastoral role. So every person can learn from the teachings of Jesus, and that's my role as a pastor, just to help people get closer to God.
So President Obama's personal faith would certainly have an impact on how he rules as a president. So how have you seen the president evolve over his 2 years?
Well, he realizes, you know, my conversation with him just last week was one where he, like all of us in leadership, realize how much we need God's wisdom and guidance for what we're doing. None of us feel really totally adequate for the hurts of our country or our congregation, and so he's just looking for ways to take on the wisdom of Jesus and his character, as are many of us, so that we can do a better job caring for people.
When we talk about how there is the mix of politics and religion, can religion be depoliticized?
Well, it can if it's not taken out in the public square. The President Obama has done very well with keeping his religion and his spiritual formation more personal and private. The minute it goes, he starts to quote scripture when he's trying to form policy, then it's going to become political and very divisive, and he knows better than that.
But do you think that the devotionals that you send on a daily basis help inspire the president personally that then reflects in his professional attitude?
Absolutely they do. As Scripture does for all of us, it gives us something bigger to look at. It puts everything in perspective for us. It gives us hope and encouragement and lets us know that God is our helper. And so that can't help but sustain him in times that are very difficult like these times.
And sir, as I said, you were part of the gathering that took place on November 30th, bringing together some different ministers from all over this country. Do you have plans? You said it was informal. Do you have plans to meet again?
Yeah, we have a group that's kind of a collaborative group that's made up of you know, voices that are recognized leaders in America, some denominational heads, representative from the Catholic Church, and we're friends. And we just get together and we talk over some of the issues and how we can make the best impact and not become a part of the rhetoric that divides and destroys in our country.
And sir, are we all allowed to get on the presidential devotional email chain?
I really haven't discussed that. I don't know whether those should be publishable or not, because as I said, I think people would be reading into them what I didn't mean and trying to politicize them in ways that they weren't meant to be.
Well, let's hope that everybody hears you loud and clear in this interview. Thank you, Reverend Joel Hunter. Good to have you on.
Thank you. Glad to help.
Take care.